Story time with Tristan Blaze. So, I'm in the Marines. It is 2004. It's around July, August 2004. It's after July 4th because I was in Okinawa, Japan on July 4th, and I was getting paperwork done and checking out and getting ready to transfer to Camp Pendleton to go to a separations platoon to separate from the Marines. Now, in the process of doing all of this, either I didn't go to either I didn't go somewhere or somebody didn't do something right. I don't know which one is which. But basically, my medical paperwork did not get to Camp Pendleton. So I'm in Camp Pendleton, and I'm watching this, normally, you go in, you get a little class. It's like, okay, here's, how you're supposed to act in the civilian world. Here's how you're supposed to act as a civilian, as opposed to a member of the United States Marine Corps. All right, okay. It's good the first couple times you see it, and then after a while you're just like, okay, I want to do something else. It's kind of fucking boring. So I'm asking, where's my documents? Where's my medical papers? They're like, well, we don't know where your medical papers are, dude. You gotta fucking wait, man. Once we get it, we can start finalizing your separation. So I've been out in Pendleton for like a week. Normal turnaround time is you hit Pendleton, you're gone in 3 days. I've been there for twice as long, and I still don't got my medical work. Or I still don't got my medical paperwork. So, fuck it, dude. I'm going to go to Riverside, man. I'm going to go out to Riverside. It's fucking July, man. It's like mid to late July in fucking Riverside, California, man. The ocean is right over fucking there, dude. I mean, shit, man. It's fucking summer. The ocean's right over there. I'm in California. Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna. It's Friday, man. Fuck that shit, dude. I'm going out for the weekend. I don't give a shit. What are they gonna do? Kick me out? I'm already getting out. The answer to that question is yes, but not before they imprison you. So I meet this girl. We'll call her Jenny. Call her Jenny. I love you, Jenny. And Jenny liked guys in the military. Jenny had a cousin who also lived in Riverside. He ran an auto parts, he ran an auto shop. It's like a mechanic shop. He'll come into play later in the story. So me and Jenny hook up Friday night. Wake up at her place on Saturday, and again, I got nothing to do. It's a weekend, admin office isn't working, so even if my paperwork came in, they ain't gonna get to that shit till fucking Monday. And even if they get to it, it's probably gonna take them 2-3 days to fucking process that shit. So I'm stuck for like another half a week at least. So me and Jenny, we just hang out all fucking day. Not a big deal. She ends up going to see her cousin. I meet her cousin. And we kind of hit it off. And she's like, where do you live? I'm like, well, I live in New York State. It's like, well, I live in Western New York. So I'm getting a ticket to fucking New York to go home, when I'm done. Now, some people just, opt to just get a car and drive, but, I didn't have a license back then, so I wasn't going to get a fucking car and then just... Because first of all, if you've ever had to drive to like fucking Bakersfield, California, even as a passenger, just ride there. Oh dear God, man. Oh dear God, that fucking trip. Staying awake, sober, is fucking hard to do. But that trip, man, it's nothing, man. There's nothing there. It's just like a fucking desert. And then there's Bakersfield. And then there's nothing but fucking desert afterwards for a while. So it's like, shit, dude. So anyways, we hit it off, and she kind of wants to have a relationship. She's like, you know, because I'm kind of like, you know, getting some shit put away, packing some shit, because now I gotta, like, send it off back home. And she stops by as a visitor. I'm coming to get some stuff. I go back to my barracks room and I go grab some shit, and she's in the room, and I'm going through some random shit, just putting it away, and she sees this binder, and this binder has all my certificates in it from the Marine Corps Institute. It's correspondence courses you can take, some of these, actually a lot of these that I took at least, some of them when you do it, you can transfer as college credit to a certain college. You know, certain colleges may accept it, certain colleges may not. It depends on what their requirements are. But I had a lot that were acceptable. So I had interior wiring. I had digital logic that I did. We had to determine, you know, AND gates, OR gates, NAND, NOR gates, all those hunky dory things, man. Master slave circuits. It's pretty fucking interesting. It's an interesting thing to learn, I'll say. And she's flipping through and she sees, you know, like, you know, guerrilla warfare tactics, infantry patrolling, you know, and then she goes into this one section where it's like, you know, diesel engine maintenance, you know, diesel engine repair, automotive fuel and exhaust systems, automotive brake repair, you know, there's just a lot of automotive stuff. One of the things that we did in my artillery unit, 3rd Battalion, 12th Marines out in Camp Hansen, was every Wednesday, I believe it was every Wednesday, we would go down and we had a couple of Humvees that were specifically set aside for our shop. So like the S2 shop had vehicles, S1, all these shops had vehicles. And we had a couple of Humvees. So we had to go down and perform preventative maintenance. That basically means we check to make sure the spark plugs are working. We check to make sure the tires are inflated. We do the boring shit that motor pool didn't want to do, because their job is to just actually fix the shit we break. So I figured, why not take correspondent courses? This is how I think. Why not take correspondent courses so I can fix this shit if it breaks down? Doesn't work that way in the military. You are not rated to fucking remove a lug nut from that goddamn tire. You're going to sit there, you're going to wait until someone from the motor pool takes their happy ass 4 fucking hours to walk 3 goddamn blocks to give you a spare fucking tire. Well, can't I just walk down there? No, you cannot walk down there, Lance Corporal. You are going to sit here and you are going to make sure nothing happens to that. What the fuck is going to happen, man? It's a flat tire. No one's going to fucking drive it away. I digress. So she's like, hey, she talked to my cousin. You know, if you ever want to stay out here, and you know, if you ever want to stay out here, oh shit, there's glare. If you ever want to stay out here and be with me, talk to my cousin, he can hook you up, get you a job. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So now I'm like, well, that's interesting, because in Western New York, I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't have a fucking job lined up. I'm going to live with my fucking aunt and her 3 kids. My aunt, her boyfriend, who later got married to, they've been married for 11 years, and her 3 kids. That's what I'm going home to. I'm not casting any, you know, stones at my family. I'm just saying that's what I had to go home to. Here I got a girl, Southern Cal girl, blonde hair, green eyes, nice body, active, in more ways than one. Or I can go home with my aunt and her boyfriend and her 3 kids. And also my now uncle's kid. So now 4 kids. Sorry. Or I could possibly move in with this girl and have a job. And I talked to the guy and he's like, well, yeah, you know, if you choose to stay here, I could easily work you in. You could start part-time. Because I told the guy, I said, look, man, I took these courses a few years ago. I'm a little rusty. So, I mean, I'm going to have to, you know, get back up to speed. He's like, yeah, sure. You know, we can work you part-time and I could have you with somebody that I know helping you out. And once you get back up to speed, we can get you into full-time position. Like part-time, I'll start you at 15, 16 an hour. Once you go full-time, I'll make you like 21, 22. So it was like, holy shit, like 15 bucks an hour? Like, shit, dude, I can't make that in New York State unless I'm fucking, like, sucking dick in the back of an alley or some shit. Just on like, day one of a job, I'm not going to make that money in New York State. At least where I live in New York State. I go to the city, yeah, I might be able to do that in New York City. But that would also require me to live in fucking New York City. I'm not casting any stones at New York City. I'm just saying, you know, I get a lot of shit from people just by saying I'm from New York. They say, oh, you're one of those people. Like, no, I'm not one of those people. So, we're out, and we're at this, like, bar out in Riverside, and so we come back to her place Saturday night. We just got back. We went to In-N-Out, which, by the way, In-N-Out should definitely... Not In-N-Out, sorry. We went to In-N-Out the day before. We went to Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box and In-N-Out, by the way. Both those restaurants need to get their asses to New York, man. That's some good fucking quality fucking food. It's, like, laden with grease and it's fast food, but hey, man, it's some good shit, dude. So... she's like, you know, hey, do you love me? And I'm like, I've heard this conversation before. And I'm like, oh, God. It begins, the do you love me conversation. Like, oh, of course I love you, baby. I might not be a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is. And so Jenny then... says, you know, I'm going to college to, you know, well, not college, I'm going to cosmetology school. She's going to become a cosmetologist. She's going to do makeup and hair and shit like that. Like, yeah, okay, I know you're going to do makeup and hair. She's like, do you know how I pay for it? No. Never really crossed my mind. Plus, really don't give a shit. I go, the first question I ask after saying that is, are you doing illegal shit? Like, are you doing something illegal to pay for it? She's like, no, I don't do anything illegal. I go, well, fine, I don't give a fuck then. She's like, are you sure you don't care? I'm like, what do you do? She's like, well, I strip at this strip club. Now, it wasn't a strip club in Riverside. It was outside of Riverside. It was somewhere else. Hi, Diablo. How you doing, buddy? So she's stripping outside of some other strip club. I forget the name of it. Okay, whatever. Who gives a shit? You're a stripper. Who cares? That actually is even cooler. Because now I can say I've dated a stripper in my life. She's like, yeah, well, when money gets tight, I kind of do certain movies. I'm like, whoa. What do you mean by certain movies? She's like, I do porn. I'm like, okay. Like, you do porn. What do you fucking do? Who gives a shit? Now I'm dating a stripper and a porn star. Now, the term porn star is not really what you would use for her. She doesn't really do, like... I don't know if she does porn anymore. I haven't seen anything by her ever since, like, that time frame. This is, like, 2004. This is, like, 11 years ago. I'm 23... Or I'm sorry, I'm 22, going on 23. She is 19. All right, so that's been 11 years. She's now 30. All right, so I don't see any MILFs that look even remotely like this bitch. Okay, doing porn. And you might say, oh, you called her a bitch. That's derogatory. No. It gets better, and it might. Some of you might understand why I said she's a bitch. So, she's coming clean. Here's the kicker. Had she never fucking told me that, I would have stayed in Riverside with her. No questions asked, no ifs, ands, or buts. I would have stayed in Riverside, and I just would have stayed with her. I would have found out after I had been separated from the Marine Corps, would not have had the resources to go back to New York. So I would have been basically stuck in California with no family, no friends, and only her. She should have just kept her goddamn mouth shut if she really wanted to keep me. Because then that would have been the only option I would have had. But she said I'm a porn star. She said I do porn. I said, alright, I want to see your movies. Like, I want to see, no offense, I want to see what I'm getting involved with. And so Jenny's like, nah, I don't want you to see this. I don't know. I mean, it's like, oh God. I mean, I don't know. I mean, are you really gonna? I was like, look, just let me fucking see what you do. Just let me see what you do. It's, you know, it's not gonna bother me. You know, it's not gonna anger me. It's not gonna bother me. It's not. It's not like It's not like it's gonna make the difference between should I stay or should I go mindset. It's just I kind of want to see what you did. And so she's like, all right, fine. Go to, and she said, here's one of the stores. And here's, you know, the nearest, you know, store where you could find, like, you know, my porn. And go here and look for anything by this person. I said, okay, fine. So I go to the store and I'm like, yeah, do you have anything by so-and-so? They're like, oh yeah, it's right back there. She's a local girl. I go, oh, she is. I'm like, of course I know she's a local girl. I was just tapping that last night. So I go and she's got like five DVDs that she's in. So then I watch them. Girl, 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 boy. Girl, boy, girl, two guys and her, and then there was like a gangbang scene. She was Caucasian and Latino, and there were white guys, there were black guys, there were Hispanic guys. I think there were Hispanic guys. Maybe they were just really tanned fucking Italians. I don't fucking know. My wife's part Native American. She gets a tan. People mistake her for being Puerto Rican. So, hey man, shit happens. You mistake people. And I watch this and I'm like, alright, so she does DP. She took facials. You know, she's done anal. She's done this shit. Alright, whatever. So it's nothing that I haven't fucking seen before. She didn't do anything that I hadn't seen people do on porn before. So, alright, not a problem. That was on Sunday when I watched it, and I went over to her Sunday night, and I was like, I don't see a problem with it. And she was like, well, you know, I said not much of a problem with it, and she wanted to kind of talk a bit more about it. I was like, I kind of want to sleep on it real quick, you know. I kind of just want to sleep on it. So I wake up, I go down, check in. Separation platoon, hi, you know, captain, you know, I'm reporting for, you know, sitting on my ass all day again. He's like, oh, you, good news, your medical paperwork came through. I was like, what? Like, oh, we finally got it. Like, oh, that's good. He's like, well, we just need to verify all these addresses, you know, where we're sending, you know, like, because I'm from Okinawa, Japan, I'm going back to the States, they have to get a crate, basically, and send a lot of my personal effects. I can't take all of that shit with me. So, all these personal effects are coming from Okinawa to New York. They just want to finalize, here's the address, is it correct? Yes, 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 yes. Is this where you're going to live? Yes. So they get tickets and everything for, like, nearest, if you take a bus, nearest bus depot. If you take a plane, nearest airport. So, boom, there you go. And I was like, could I get a day? Because I might be staying in California. I just need to know I got this girl, and I just need to figure out if I'm going to stay or if I'm going to go back to New York State. Captain's like, all right, you got one day. You got one day. Figure it out. So it's Wednesday. I'm getting discharged on like either like or this Monday. I'm getting discharged, or not discharged. I'm getting sent home on either like a Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. So all right. So I go see Jenny. I'm not a smart man, Jenny, but I know what an anal gape is. And I said, alright, I've seen your videos, I really don't give a shit. I asked her, I go, that life is behind you, right? Like, you're not going to be doing this anymore. She's like, yes, that life is behind me. I go, okay. that puts a lot of my mind at ease. Now, sorry there, camera cut off. Long story. Anyways, where was I? Yes, question number 2. Am I able to do any of those things those guys did to you? Answer, no. So that's it, I'm leaving. Why? Just because that life is behind you doesn't mean I'm not going to ask for the same shit. And then we got into a little argument. Oh, come on, kitty. There you go. Stretch out. So we got into a little argument. And she's like, what's the difference? She's like, what's the difference of me not wanting to do it now? I said, the difference is how you did it and why you did it. You're saying you love me. You're saying you want to be with me. I believe it. But what you're also saying is, I've done all of these things back here in this past of my life. This part of my life that I no longer have any affiliation with. I've done all these things. I've taken like 2 dicks in my ass. I've like deep-throated and gagged and almost barfed on some dude's dick. I've swallowed copious amounts of semen. I've had dudes just literally jizz all over my face and, you know, make it look like I have a glazed donut affinity and I just can't stop eating glazed donuts and the glaze is all over my face. And I'll do all of those things for money, but I won't do it for love. That's why I got upset. Hey, how you doing? Oh, and by the way, come here. Come here. Come on, little guy. Hi. This is Pounce. This is... Oh, okay. This is the new kitty. He's 9 weeks old. And that's why I said that is... And I explained to her. She goes, what's the difference? I said the difference is if you did them for money and with the man you love, there'd be no difference. That's just something you would like to do. But you only do it for money, that's the definition of a whore. If I'm only going to do something for money, like if I'm only going to go to the gym and make a video and put it on YouTube for money, not because I like to do it, but just because I want to make money off of it, I'm a fucking whore in my eyes. Okay, if I give a supplement review just for money, and not to either like tell people this supplement is shit, or this supplement is okay, or this supplement is awesome, if I just do it for that, just do it for money, I'm a whore. I don't want to be a whore. I don't want to date a whore. I'll date a slut. I'll marry a slut. Don't get me wrong. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm not going to do it to a whore. That's just my personal view. That's just my personal belief. So me and Jenny ended up calling it quits. I go back Tuesday to see the captain. I'm like, yeah, I just sent all my shit to New York State. Here's the address. He's like, all right. So everything gets done, all hunky-dory and shit, and I'm sitting there in New York State with my, one briefcase and, well, one piece of luggage, which has my clothes in it, and some personal effects, and my sea bag, which has a lot more of my clothes in it, that now smells like exhaust, because of where it was stored on the trip home. And I'm just waiting, I'm waiting for my aunt to show up, I'm like, sitting there, and I see this dude running by. He's got, like, fucking burn marks on his fingertips. I'm in the middle of fucking downtown Rochester. Burn marks on his fingertips. I mean, the looks paranoid as fuck. Little kitten's meowing. It was paranoid as fuck, and I'm like, yep. That's my crackhead. I'm home. That was my first image of being home after being in the Marines, was a crackhead running around my fucking city. Yep, I'm home. This is where I was born. I could be balls deep in a porn star right now, but she wouldn't let me fuck her in the ass or jizz on her face, so fuck her. Fuck her, because that's how I am. So, word of advice, don't be dating porn stars unless they're willing to do the same shit they do on camera for you in the bedroom. Just FYI. If you're gonna date a whore that goes all out, man. Peace.